God, don't do that now. Hello, everyone. Are you there? Hi. Hello, Craig. You win today. Hello, Kay, Simon, and Angela. Good to see you. Oh, it's been raining again in Sydney, Craig? That sounds appalling. It's not raining here. Yeah. It is just stunning. Hello, Paul and Roz. Lovely to see you. I'm having trouble with getting my computer up high enough with the chairs here, so I'll have to sort of crouch over you today, because I think if I put any more books in the pile, then everything might topple off eventually. So, welcome to Tuscany. Hello, Peter and Karen. I've already seen a picture of what you guys have started preparing. I've just had a lovely bowl of muesli and fruit and yogurt, so I'm feeling, and the strongest coffee yet. So I was feeling a bit wobbly for a second there, but I think all is in equilibrium again. Hello, Cotty and John. How are you doing? Hello, Nina. Okay, so what I thought I'd do is we'll get the business side of things done first, so that if we do have any trouble with the internet, then at least we've done a little tasting together. And then I reckon I might try and take you for a little tour, and I don't know how that's going to work. I've got friends in the background making coffees, getting ready for our next exciting day in Tuscany. We've been doing a little bit of wine tasting, a little bit of lunching, a little bit of Shell, the 2019 in the fridge. Whoops. That's all right. The 2015 is what I'm tasting, and you'll be unsurprised to hear that Kate's not going to be drinking very much this morning, but we'll be saving this for this evening. Room temperature will be fine, Shell, unless it's really hot at your house. In fact, I think it's probably better at room temperature. I stuck this in the fridge for about half an hour this morning, and it's just a little bit of cool. But I think that would be perfect. Hello, Nareem. Hello, Rob and Deb. How you doing? All right, so let's get this tasting underway, and then I'll take you for a little tour, because it's another gorgeous day. What was I saying before? Oh, yeah, we're getting ready. We've had a very exciting week. We have one of our cars has a flat tyre, so we've got to go and try and get that sorted out this morning before we head off to Poggioino to do a little tasting and have lunch. It's all go, go, go here. It's just exhausting. Anyway, hello, Daryl and Sue. Lovely to see you. Let's get some wine in the glass, hey? 2015 Robinson Chardonnay. Haven't been drinking much Chardonnay this week. We had one yesterday at lunch from the lovely people at Isola Olena. It's a little bit oaky, but it was delicious still. Here we go. Just a little glass for me for breakfast, but don't feel that you have to be abstemious. Craig reckons the oak on the nose is a fair whack. Hello, Sarah. How are you going? Lovely to see you. How are all the tricks? So, Craig, I think that's interesting because this wine doesn't have a huge amount of new oak. I think if you get a bit of a swell, but one of the reasons that we have been reducing our use of new oak over the years is because under screw cap it does retain that oak character, particularly on first pour. So Shelley, having a bit of trouble with your typing this morning, this evening, whatever. So give it a bit of a swirl. It's quite a savoury wine, so I think that's kind of that the savouriness of the wine is getting sort of mixed up with that little bit of new oak. It's probably 2015. I don't know if Jeremy or Richard are on the line. I don't think Richard can do chat, so I would say that in 2015 we maybe used a tiny bit more new oak than we do these days. These days we're sort of down to somewhere between 5% and 15% for the single vineyard Chardonnays, because we're Apple autocorrect is very funny. Yes. This one probably had maybe 15 or 20% new oak, so not a huge amount. But yeah, I think that's right, Kate. Lots of citrus, lots of mineral. Give it a swirl, get your nose into it again. Yep, for sure, Craig. It always does that, these wines. It's one of the reasons that even though it's got a little bit of bottle age, I would suggest that it wouldn't hurt this wine to give it a very quick decant before you pour it, or just get a bit of air into it before you start drinking it. All right, water. So, is someone breakfasting behind me? Wave, Alex. That's Alex. Hi, Alex. Cheers. Okay, wine. I'm not really procrastinating, although it is quite hard work drinking. Well, at least it's Chardonnay. Drinking Chardonnay at 9 o'clock in the morning. Also, this nearly didn't happen. I had to ring Jeff in Australia and say, Google doesn't want me to log on in Italy. Can you authenticate me? And we had to do lots of tricky things. So thank you, Jeff, if you're on. I think I wasted about 10 minutes of his time, so he may be running late now. But Jeff saved the day again, so thank you very much. Pete also came in to help save the day, so thank you for your help too, Pete. It's a miracle that we're here at all. Right, that's given that wine time to sort of open up a little bit. Really lovely. I think it is very much a lemony wine, as the Robinson Chardonnay is wont to be. Quite lemony. The florals have kind of have sort of softened out a little bit, and there's a little bit more of that sort of savoury, minerally, sort of slightly almost a Parmesan or Pecorino cheese kind of aromatic, which I think is quite nice. Oi, rowdy people in the kitchen. You're distracting me. I can hear you. So it's got lovely line. It's got beautiful finesse on the palate. It's actually not bad as a breakfast wine after all. Lots of that lemony, sort of minerally, flinty kind of notes coming through on the palate. I think as it opens up, it'll do some really interesting things. So I'll just put that aside for a moment and answer other questions. Rob and Deb, I am here so this is a farmhouse in the middle of Tuscany. We're almost equidistant between Florence and Siena. And we are right near a village called Castellina in Chianti, which is rather nice. I will take you for a little look around in a minute. So, Craig, the first Robinson Chardonnay that we made was actually in 2007 or 2008, but they were back then experimental wines, and it took us a couple of years, I think, to kind of get the hang of the vineyard and all of that kind of thing. So, sorry, kitchen, could you shut up, please? I can't hear myself talk. The problem is they can't hear me when I shout at them. So thank you. Welcome. What was I saying? Oh, yes. The closest village is Castellina and Chianti to here. And yes, it is absolutely glorious. Chardonnay, first Robinson Chardonnay in 2007, I think, or maybe 2008. The first one that we thought was worthy of sort of single vineyard status and being released to the general public was 2010. So 2015 was quite a lovely year. 2015 and 16 I know you can't hear the rowdy kitchen, Nina, but I couldn't, I was hearing them and trying to hear my own brain think, and it's all too hard. So I have to be a tyrant. Oh gosh, questions. Match for breakfast Chardonnay. Well, Cotty, as I said, I just had a lovely bowl of fruit and yogurt and homemade muesli that one of my friends made me, and that was a good way to prep the palate. A little bit of oats, a little bit of a few nuts. Very super. But breakfast Chardonnay is probably not really a thing. Might be nice with egg and bacon. Don't know. Cheddar chicken sandwich, fried prawns, and air fried chips. Oh, very good, Kate. That sounds lovely. Hello, Kevin. Lovely to see you. Say hi to Emily when you next see her. Good to see you. Oh, that's good, Peter and Karen, that your lemony beurre blanc's going well with your scallop dumplings. Simon, it is such a beautiful place, and I was trying to decide which way to sit so that you could see some of the sort of feeling of the place. We've got an amazing kitchen. We've been cooking up a storm also in the evenings. And hello, Ben, how are you going? Lovely to see you. we've been cooking up a storm in the evenings. We've been going out for lunch and tootling around doing some wine tastings and touristing, and then coming back here for dinner. There are 9 of us, but we've done quite a good job on the wines so far. So we're just arranging our empty wine bottles on the fireplace. So you'll be pleased to know that we're doing a lot of research into the local wines, and we'll be able to give you a good report back on what you should drink next time you come to Tuscany. Smoky bacon would work very well with this, Craig, absolutely. So as I was saying, 2015 was a pretty classic vintage for us. Things kind of all happened nicely. It was one of the last recent Chardonnay vintages where we didn't have bad weather during flowering and fruit set. And it was, hello, Tam and Ben. So 15 was really classic. Everyone was very happy with 15. 16 was a little warmer, but also made some really beautiful wines. So it's really nice to be revisiting a 15. I think it still looks really fresh. I think it's got some nice development, but it's looking pretty delicious. Craig, highlights so far. So, all right, my Kate's travel diary. What have we been doing? We had a lovely day in Pisa on the first day that we arrived, and just found a little cafe and had a very nice. It's porcini season here, so been eating quite a lot of fresh porcini pastas. So had that on the first day. That was great. The weather it's been relentlessly sunny. So we've been sort of trying to divide our time between going out and then being back here, because we've got a lovely pool here and a bocce court, and we've just trying to do all the stuff and relax a bit as well has been exhausting, just trying to fit it all in. Sunday we had a lovely lunch that we prepared to have here, because there's also some gorgeous outdoor spaces. I wanted to do this outside, but the internet's not good enough, so you had to be inside. But there's a lovely stone table that overlooks the olive groves and then the vines, and that was rather stunning. And then what else have we done? On Monday we went into Florence, and Richard found a fabulous little restaurant where we went that was Osteria Belle Donne, and I had lots of beautiful women around in the artwork around the walls, and the food was absolutely delicious. So that was awesome. Then we came back for a swim. Tuesday, we went and caught up with some friends of mine for lunch in Rada in Chianti, which is about half an hour away from here. We had a lovely lunch at an amazing place, had a wander around the old town. It was really sweet. We'd quite like to go back there because there was a really cool deli that we think that we might see if we can pick up some food there today for dinner tonight. I've handed over kitchen duties to the rest of the gang for the rest of the week, trying not to be control freak too much of the time. Thanks, Craig. I thought the earrings might be quite good on the film, televisual. They look a little bit more 3D than they actually are. I think they're quite cool. I hope they're not too distracting. We are going to Poggioino today, and remember some of you tasted the Poggioino Chianti Classico with me. Was it last year or the year before? Anyway, really looking forward to seeing Piero again and visiting his winery. And we've booked in there for lunch today, so we won't go hungry either, so that'll be lovely. And then tomorrow we're thinking we might go to Pisa. We're still trying to fit in a visit to San Gimignano at some stage before we have to leave on Saturday. So, it's been crazy. I can't lie. And then there's been lying by the pool with gin and tonics and Aperol spritzers. So, it's pretty good. This wine is opening up beautifully. Hello, Zach and Jack and Hannah. Lovely to see you. Kevin's just back from Rome, visited Assisi on the weekend in Umbria. Orvieto, Grachetto, Sangrantino, so good. Such good grape varieties. My cousin lives in Emilia, which is just between Umbria, and it's just sort of north of Rome, almost in Umbria. And it's a fabulous part of the world as well. I was hoping to get there on this trip, but they came to me instead, which was really nice. Grilled prawns and scallops, excellent. Feta oregano hot chips, good work, Shell. That sounds awesome. I do think this wine is opening up beautifully as we sit I'm getting more, it might be just where I am, but I'm getting more sort of, I think if you've got maybe it was Shell talking about the feta and oregano hot chips, but there's sort of an oregano rosemary kind of note to this wine as well, a little bit of lavender. It's quite floral and perfumed, but it's also that lemon line is kind of still sticking through. So shall we pop outside and see if the internet holds? I'm going to go and take you outside and show you the vineyard. Hang on. Also, I wanted to say thank you very much, Craig, for doing the Nebbiolo tasting. Look, there's some more people having breakfast. We won't interrupt them. Here we go. I'll just do a little twirl to show you the living room. There's Richard. Richard, wave. Hey, hello, everyone. That's Sue. Hard to see you backwards, Sue. So I'll take you outside in a minute because it's too glary. So that's our living room. Very nice. Very nice. There's a good kitchen here too. So if you do want to come to Tuscany with a group of friends, this apartment houses about, how many of us are there in here? There's 6 of us in here, but if you've got couples, you can fit a few more people because there's double beds. So there's 4 bedrooms in this apartment, 2 upstairs, 2 downstairs. It's going to get really bright for a minute, so hopefully the computer will be able to handle it. This is where I wanted to do drinks with Kate today, but I didn't know whether it was going to work. So if I drop out, I'm sorry, but here we go. So yeah, this is my view for this week. Some vineyards, some olive trees, some rolling hills. There's an orange cat that wanders around trying to get in the house. Unfortunately, one of the people in the group is very allergic to cats, so the cat is disappointed constantly. Okay, I'll turn this way so that you haven't got the sun in your eyes. But yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it? So next time you guys are planning a trip to Tuscany, give me a call and I'll put you in touch with these guys. They're very Italian, you know. It hasn't been without some drama, this booking, but it's been worthwhile as long as you don't get, stressed out about the inefficiencies. There we go, a little bit of view in the background. So how's your Chardonnay going? Have another. If this is all too much, have a little sip of Chardonnay. It'll help the pain of being in. I hear it's been really cold back there in Melbourne. It is sort of an agritourismo accommodation, so it's owned by the winery La Brancaia. We went and did a tasting with them day before yesterday, and their winery is. I think if I went to the pool, Peter and Karen, I would definitely lose you because it's a little bit of a walk. I'll put a photo up on the Moorooduc Instagrams. Yeah. Yeah, so it's owned by Brancaia Winery, but it's a separate property. So these are their vineyards. So we drank the wine from these vineyards last night, which was pretty delicious. And yeah, you can rent it out. So the way it's set up, it's sort of it's a big farmhouse and then a couple of other little sort of out buildings. We're in the big farmhouse, which, as I say, has 3 double bedrooms and a single bedroom. And then we've got the apartment next door, which is apartment 2, which is slightly smaller, so still decked out with a living room and a kitchen and a dining room area. The dining room actually in apartment 2 is pretty glorious. It's got a big, long wooden table. They've got 2 bedrooms there. And then there's another studio apartment down the back where there's another couple who are staying here as well. So they have to cope with our rowdiness, which are being quite well behaved. So yeah, it's rather lovely, as I say, and you rent it from Saturday to Saturday, and yeah, they're pretty busy. So, but once you get here, it's incredibly peaceful. So it's a great place to locate yourself, particularly if you want to go into some of the towns. It's about an hour and a half's drive to Florence because of the traffic. Sienna's a little bit closer as far as driving because it's not quite as bad traffic, but I guess we'll find that out tomorrow. I personally couldn't care less about going into the big towns. I just like kind of mooching around the countryside and eating and drinking myself into a stupor. Got to say, I had at a restaurant a couple of days ago, I had the mixed grill of pork, and it was some of the most delicious food that I have eaten in a very long time. The vegetarian food's pretty good here too. The porcini mushrooms are outrageous, and truffle season's just starting. So we've seen a glimpse of some truffles. So yeah, well, Kate's going on crusts and water when I get home. Let's pop back and look at that. I could just sit and watch, and every now and again you hear a gun go off because the hunters are out shooting the wild boar or the rabbits or whatever. But apart from that, there's a little owl that sings to us at night. And as you can imagine, the sunsets are pretty awesome too. So, Cotty, they do have good local food markets. We've been, I think you need to know which days to go, but they also have fantastic, back into the dark cave of the living room. Each of the little towns has a fantastic little kind of deli enoteca. So if you're organised, if you just want to do like a week of food and cooking for yourself and that kind of thing, you can absolutely do that. If you want to go out to eat, the restaurants are very classically Italian. So you'll have lots of pasta, lots of this, a lot of that. Okay, Kay, let me tell you so quite a lot, interestingly, quite a lot of these wines we bought from the local Coop Co-op supermarket. And there's a few that you can buy in Australia. So this little Vernaccia was the first one that we had. This is just a nice little easy drinking thing. The Fresco Pinot, nice and crisp. This is a little bit, the Vermentino from Tuscany, the Fattoria del Cero was tasty. Then we had three Chiantis, the Felsina and the Fonterutoli I drink quite regularly back at home. The Castello di Arma, I'm not sure if that comes into Australia, but I haven't seen it for a while. Then because we were having lunch with friends from England and cousins, hello Linda, how you going? We had a bottle of Duck Pinot, just to remind us of home. Brancaia is the place that owns this agriturismo, so they left us some bottles. We drank them. Thank you very much, Brancaia. Villa Antonori, that was probably one of the again from the supermarket, not really one of the highlights, but nice little crisp white wine. Prosecco for the Aperol spritzers. So there's a couple of Prosecco bottles. There's one on the go in the fridge at the moment. That Brunello was lovely. I've never heard of them before. Campo Giovanni, never heard of them before. Very good. The Il Grappolo was a little bit more rustic, but also very nice. The Giardino was fantastic, and the Serlapo, which is from the Mazze family who have Fonterutoli, was delicious as well. Then we had a little rosé, Merlot-based rosé, which was okay. Didn't really make me too excited. Then another Vernaccia, again, pretty simple. This Vernaccia was from Sicily. It was really interesting. It was probably not to most people's taste, but it's can't see it. It's floor aged, so it tasted a little bit like a low alcohol sherry, which was nice. We actually used the second half of the bottle to cook up some mushrooms, so that's how popular it was. This was fantastic. We had a bottle of this at lunch, and so we liked it so much we had to buy a couple of bottles. So they've gone along the wayside. Couple of other wines there. This wine, I have to say, I bought this at the Enoteca that we had lunch on Tuesday. With 9 people, a Magnum is a very good sized bottle, and this is Montevertine. Tiny, tiny, tiny allocations of this wine come into Australia. If you find it, buy it, drink it. It's delicious. Floor. Sonia, good question. Not that kind of floor. FLOR, which is a type of yeast that, here we go, I'll show you. FLOR is what is the floor that I'm talking about. And floor yeast is a surface yeast that they use in sherry most often to make, and it grows on top of the wine, and it does a couple of things. It adds a sort of a nutty, green appley kind of flavour to the wine. It also uses up some of the glycerols in the wine, so make it a little bit lighter. And that wine was quite brown in colour, so it was also oxidatively aged after that, so quite unusual. So back to the Moorooduc Estate Chardonnay. That is looking amazing. Some of the sort of cheesy, buttery notes are coming forward now, which I think is really lovely. The lemony characters have kind of settled down. I think this wine is looking lovely at the moment, but is a wine that still is quite youthful. I think if you bought some of that and put it down for another 10 years, then you wouldn't be disappointed. Buy a dozen, drink a bottle every year for 12 years, and that's kind of perfect. How's that for a recommendation? I think this is fantastic. John wants to know how many days drinking that is. We arrived on Saturday, but we didn't start drinking here until Sunday because we had some issues with the booking, and some of us had to stay at a hotel. This is Italy, remember, things never go quite as smoothly as you hope that they will. So we were out on the Saturday night, so starting drinking on Sunday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4 days. 4 days for 9 people with an extra 5 people on Sunday. So that's not too bad. Hello, Emily, lovely to see you. I thought you must have been away. Craig, you had a 2012 Moorooduc Pinot Gris the other night. Yeah, it's fantastic. And that one looks like it's going to go for a bit longer as well. So I'm glad you enjoyed that. Paul and Roz, I will be putting together a list of Italian recommendations after this trip, and I will circulate it happily. So absolutely. Now, guys, I'm going to have to go in a minute because, as I mentioned right at the beginning of things, we've had a little drama with the car. One of the cars has a flat tyre, so we have to take it down to the garage to get the tyre fixed before we go to our 10:30 appointment at Poggioino. People don't look like they're quite ready to go yet, so we've got a little bit more time. But I better not hold my friends up for the whole tyre recovery wine tasting for today. Bless you. That's all right. Sue's having a little sneeze in the background. Are the horses not working? Craig, we don't have horses here. It's a little too far to go. But I've been seeing my sister, Beck, and her family are in the Alps at the moment, and they've hired a donkey to carry their bags for them. They're leading this donkey around a walking tour of the Alps, which looks rather fun. So maybe we'll get a donkey next time to get us to the tastings. All right. Well, team, keep Vespers. Yes, Peter, I'm terrified of Vespers. On the first day when we were driving, someone tried to kill themselves on my car on a Vespa by doing ridiculously illegal manoeuvres, and I managed to not kill them. But no Vespers for me. Thanks very much. Chopper going style. Okay, you get a very different view of. Oh, Richard and Jill and Sue have managed to sign into the chat. Hello, Mum and Dad. Lovely to see you. We do need a donkey at Moorooduc Estate. I think Reggie would love it, and I think that my niece Madeline would also love the donkey. So I'll be working on that when we get home. A donkey could be very useful, Dad. What do you reckon? All right, team. I think I'm going to disappear now and leave you with your Chardonnay and your and hopefully your beautiful food matches. It sounds like you've all done very well again. Next week, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to tune in because the timing is all wrong. Hello, Jeff, you made it. Thank you for sorting us out this afternoon. That was a slightly stressful moment, but you stayed cool, calm, and collected through the whole thing. So yes, so you have a little holiday next week unless someone decides that they want to do a little impromptu tasting like Craig's Nebbiolo tasting last week. Otherwise, if you do want to, just send me a link to whatever platform you want to use, and I'll send it out to people with any instructions that you send me. Otherwise, you'll just have to have a drink by yourselves next week, and I'll be back in 2 Thursdays' time. I fly in that morning, so it'll be amusing to see whether I can actually make words join up into sentences on that Thursday night. But we'll be doing the most recent release of the Magic Stalks Shiraz in 2 Thursdays' time. Until then, ciao a tutti. Take care of yourselves. I'll keep doing the Italian thing for a few more days. What else? Anyone? Anything? Okay. No need to host. Just have a drink and raise a toast to all of us next Thursday. We'll be thinking of each other. I'll be driving from Manchester to London, so you can think of me braving the roads then. All right, team. See you later. Take care. Ciao a tutti. Love you all. Bye.